this is another one, and it'll be interesting to see which way this goes.
It's pretty crazy. They've actually had 5 head-to-head matchups within their lifetime, and though Honolua is the one with the world titles, 3 of them, in fact, it's been Chloe who's taken out the majority of those head-to-head matchups, with 4 wins for Chloe to Honolua's 1. And now, finally, 7 days later, we've got the finals underway, and it's going to be Honolua with a first look, and now that priority situation will be set in the lineup, right? Getting very rained on at the moment. Honolua Blomfield walking away with their 3rd world title last year, winning it at an iconic break at Malibu in Southern California. Now up against Chloe Calmon, the strongest of the World Longboard Tour, coming out of Brazil over the last decade, and she gets a great opening ride to start things off, gets that quick footwork up to the nose, and finishes off with a nice looking turn. And now she just cruises through to this inside section. As it begins to stand up for her again, she maintains control all the way through to the inside, and she'll be putting that first score on the board for the Brazilian in Chloe Calmon. The surfers to show that control within their footwork. What are your thoughts on this opener for Chloe?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good way to start the heat, start your campaign. Not one that she will be looking to keep. She'll definitely be looking to improve upon that, but that is a really good way to start building the house throughout the heat. And like you said, length of ride isn't necessarily part of the wave.
Honolua straight to the nose. Now opting to go on her forehand. That first wave she looked at would have been on her backhand. Nice little finish as she rolls through to the inside here. Just finds that trim line, couple steps forward, and she's hoping that it will start to stand up, but it just goes flat for her. And we've now got a heat underway with scores to come through true for both surfers.
And let's have a look at the replay for last of Honolua here. She gets straight up to her feet. I love how she just takes her time there. She goes for a quick 5, and then she'll put it there for a float. We saw her just kind of try and connect all the way through on this one, staying in the middle third there. And she just walks up, trying to get this inside connect.
Those bigger closeouts are going to be challenging to maintain control of a longboard. But I think in comparison to what she surfs on her day-to-day at home, she would actually feel quite control of her in control of her equipment in comparison maybe, Rachel, to surfing out at Chun's or something on some of those bigger days. This is so similar to her home. These are the types of waves that she's grown up competing in. She's an absolute standout on the Brazilian Longboard Tour, which tends to have a few more events in it than the rest of the regional events around the world. And so for her, she's able to compete in conditions like this pretty often. As we see her now with a strong paddle, using priority on this one. Locked straight into that nice hang 10. Pedals back off the nose. Gets caught behind the section. She's going to just do what she can to hang on and keep control. She'll get bounced off, but that was a good critical hang 10, Rachel.
And she just puts those arms down and relaxes, and it makes it look like she's on there for even those few seconds longer. You really get wrapped in. And as we see this really slow-mo version, you just see her, and then she just relaxes and makes it look so beautiful and buys herself that extra second. So then we see her race back, and she kind of puts herself in that position. I think the judges will really like that.
Let's take a look now, True, at what Honolua got up to on her last wave.
Yeah, just stepping up the board there. She locks in for a quick 5. And she'll walk back through this one, just kind of carving that straight back.
See a nice locked-in hang 5 with so much control to pedal back and get that little down carve under the lip of the wave, Rachel.
I think, to your point before, this is her feeling at home, and she's really showing her experience here at beach breaks. And this is exactly what she would be doing at home. And here we see her just milking this wave all the way through. A nice little tap and finish. That just rounds out the wave really well.
Hearing it is one thing, but seeing it is another, and seeing the smiles from your team is really exciting. Really nice lock-in 5 there. She walks back, just navigating that section nicely, and she just holds onto her board there. You can see her just grab the rail to stay in control with that whitewash section. And as you mentioned, Rachel, just really melting. It won't go into a top 2. But wow, Honolua up and riding.
On an absolute bomb, the Hawaiian carves out of that nose ride. She'll also just crouch low to keep that control and loses it for a moment. She's going to get that good grip, though, onto the board to make sure she doesn't have to do a swim right.
Yeah, those are those tactics that I was referring to before. Just anything to keep the board within your reach, whether you're grabbing it with one hand or holding on to it with your feet.
With that score, it's a 5-6-7 for her second wave as we take a look at this last of Honolua, Rachel.
Yeah, she navigated a lot of bump there through the nose, and and then kind of was able, I actually thought
he's just happy regardless of the result, which is amazing to see he's in the final.
Chloe with a paddle under priority. She's currently sitting in the lead with a couple of fives. A 4.67 was her last score. She's now looking to build and get out of that 5-point range with some great footwork. Gets that beautiful drop knee cut back, now drags the hand and goes in for that little roller coaster to finish, but can't hang on to the landing. Great looking wave though, Rachel, touching into that variety that we've been waiting for.
But just looking at this replay, she's able to get up onto the nose and then gets that really nice drop knee cut back. So showing the variety in her maneuvers, and really like that bottom turn, really clean. And
I love seeing them on the bigger waves. It's more risk, it's more critical. You don't know what's going to happen. It keeps me quite on the edge of my seat there, so I prefer that. But watching them just do what they do on a small looking wave where they can get longer nose rides, have more movement along the board, is really exciting to see as well.
Likely just because she fell on that finishing section to go into her top two waves. We'll take a look here at Honolua now. Also opting to go on that smaller size wave. Nice little fade to start. Pedals up to the nose, and now using that tail, getting that bottom turn and putting on that finish, but cannot hold on to the control, and that seems to be probably the point of difference. I think, Rachel, if we're going to see one of these two between Chloe and Honolua find that control on the finishing maneuver, they could be looking at a decent sized score even in some of those smaller ones.
oh, so looking at the replay here, a nice little bottom turn, and she kind of gets a little high there that I actually thought she was almost going to go out, but is able to get back into it. Nice little flick, and then finishes it out. Again, I think we're leaning more towards Chloe's wave.
Nice wave for Chloe, but Honolua locked in a really nice ride. Rachel, I'm sure you saw this one.
Yeah, look at how long she was able to hold that, and that 10 was really tight and really nice, and then is able to milk it all the way through. Eventually she goes for a little hit at the end and is unable to land that one, but it really is about that hang time that she got.
A great performance from Leo throughout this week, as we just saw an amazing wave from Honolua Blomfield, and now Chloe with the answer back goes straight to that 5. Nice tight 5, connects for a second hang 5. Great tight footwork, and she'll kick out now, possibly to hope to get out the back with priority again. You can see how quickly she's grabbing that leash, getting her board back to her to get herself set up for another section. We'll go for the last score for Honolua, but True, let's take a look at this from Chloe.
Yeah, as you mentioned, really tight footwork there for last for Chloe. She goes for a quick tight 5 and then locks in for a hang there, hang 5. So
Chloe now splitting the peak with Hono. She gets a nice nose ride, and she'll come through to the inside, keeping that control. Now just a little bit of rail work there, puts that drop knee cut back in, and continues to milk it all the way through to the inside section. And we've got those scores in for the last exchange. We're looking at a 5.46 for Honolua to take the lead away from Chloe, as we just saw this one lock in, Rachel, for last of Chloe.
Yeah, that was just really beautiful surfing. I don't think that will go into her top 2, but just really nice, clean and concise footwork, and a really nice relaxed hang 10. So I feel like we're starting to see Chloe actually doesn't have too much time to respond. So and here we have Honolua paddling.
Having a look on her forehand, gets a couple steps up to the nose, finds that nice locked in hang 5. You can really see those toes fully committed over the nose. Now engages that rail and comes in for that finishing maneuver. She's now going to hold on to it and look for this wave to stand up for her on the inside. So she's already showcased a lot of that variety, got 2 good nose rides at the start, got that use of the rail, really engaged it, found a little power as well. Now she's looking for another nose ride, and that little Wayne Rich looking so good under her feet, puts that board on rail to finish off with. And she's looking for that 5.46 to take the advancing position. Rach, your thoughts?
We see that bottom turn, and she goes straight up to the nose, quick tap, but then she's able to find some time to actually lock in. Isn't able to find the hang 10, but is utilizing that time to then show some rail work. And out in these conditions, that's really what the judges have been rewarding. So, and going all the way through to the inside, she's even finds a quick time to get a hang 10 all the way back, and nice little use of the rail then to finish off a wave.
Scores are starting to come through from the judges, and it looks positive for Honolua Blomfield, so this wave is going to matter for Chloe Calmon. She gets up to the nose, locked in hang 5 to start. Nice pedal back, engages that rail, sets it up again, and she goes for that re-entry, but she can't find that momentum to ride out clean, and that's going to hurt the score line as Honolua has just dropped in a 6.27 to take the lead over Chloe Calmon.
10 seconds to go is for that lead change to happen, and now she can take this wave all the way to the beach and come in as a winner.
And for Honolua, she wouldn't even know that she has the win yet because there is that score true to drop in for Chloe.
As we're seeing the scores starting to drop in,
it's a 5.20 for last of the Brazilian Chloe Calmon. She'll need to wash it off as she heads to the U.S. Open later this year for the Vans Duct Tape Invitational. But it's Honolua Blomfield, the 3-time world champion, the reigning world champion, that walks away victorious in the finals against Chloe Calmon, and this will set Honolua up for a run for a 4th world title this year, Rach.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these two are the two to beat with their consistency, and Honolua just showing why she's reigning world champion, keeping that composure. Congratulations, Honolua.
Wow, what a performance. True to witness some challenging conditions, and these women just rising to the occasion to show all of the beauty, the grace, the style, the flow that is longboarding.
Yeah, that's been the consistent key among the whole of the women's longboard side of the tour and the men's as well. Both Honolua and Chloe, as Rachel mentioned, have been the ones to beat throughout the whole event, and I think it's pretty amazing to see Honolua take the win.